Several weeks later, and a change of clothes later, this happens! Yes, in the time in between episode 19 and part 20, E3 happened, a whole bunch of weeks happened where I didn't record, and I freaking, did stuff. The filler arc. You know, remember that? The one that got more views? Yeah, me neither. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to part 20 of Legend of Zelda Link's Awoke. Anyway, on the last time with Link's Awoke, we did some collection things. We completed the trading side quest and got ourselves a fancy boomerang. And that's our big reward, the boomerang. So now we have an all-powerful weapon on our side. So today, we are going to actually do some, well, collection things first off, because even though our goal for today is going over to the ancient ruins today, because that's where the next part of the story is, I realized that if we just did that, then the episode will just end on an enigmatic note. So rather than doing that, we're actually going to head off to Dampé's shack. As much as I would like to stay away from this place, unfortunately, I cannot, because we have some dungeon stuff to do. Also, I need more time for the episode to pad out, so we're gonna go with Dampé's stuff first, and then we're gonna head over to the ancient ruins. So we completed the Catfish's Maw, if you recall, so now we have the tiles from that particular place all the way unlocked in here. But today, what I want to show you is the amiibo functionality. So, just like I said before, this is basically the only way to share dungeons, which is dumb and stupid when online clearly is a thing. So you go into your dungeons and do so like this. In my hand, I have my Link's Awakening Link amiibo, and I'm going to store a dungeon. So let's say, for example, that I want to store this particular dungeon, the Fill Up Your Hearts one. So you have to place your amiibo like this, and then once it's okay to remove it, it's stored. However, I also need to register a nickname for this one. I'm gonna go with Chibi, because that's a reference, and also it's a reference to the fact that Link is chibi. Alright, and I have to do this too. Okay, we got it. And now we have to do this again. I actually never really registered the Link's Awakening amiibo until just a second. Yes, I will do that. Thank you. I will. Write chamber dungeon data to the amiibo, and we did that. There we go. So that's how you store dungeons. However, when you receive dungeons, you can tap it onto another switch, like so. So, basically the same process, just with different amiibo. Again, Nintendo Switch Online, you have that service, use it. But unfortunately, this game is way past updating at this point. They're basically moving on to Breath of the Wild 2, which still hasn't have a title yet, but has gameplay already. Anyway, the other functionality for the amiibo is the fact that you can receive special things for the chamber dungeons with these particular amiibo. Right now, I only have 4 of the Legend of Zelda series amiibo. I have Link's Awakening Link, I have Ganondorf, I have Wolf Link, I have 8-Bit Link, and I also have Daruk. But you can also receive special items with this, or special chambers. So by tapping into Link's Awakening amiibo, you get the Great Fairy's Chamber, which is basically the end of the color dungeon. And you get special plus effects. So, plus Shadow Link effect. Cast a terrifying shadow over your dungeon. So these plus effects will add a whole bunch of stuff to your dungeon. So that's cool. Anyway, I gotta tap in another one. So here I'm tapping in my Ganondorf amiibo. It's, well, more specifically, my Smash Brothers Ganondorf. I don't really remember if there was a, Legend of Zelda series Ganondorf amiibo. But here you get the Moblin Chief's Chamber, which was a mini-boss that you fought when you were rescuing Bow Wow. I'm going to tap in Wolf Link right here. And for this, you get the Ball and Chain Troopers Chamber. And for 8-bit Link, let us see again. I have to like stretch over and get the amiibo off of my games container place. The Winged Item Chamber. So you'll get a chamber that features a whole bunch of different items. And let me actually be a Curious George here. Let me actually be a Curious George and tap in my Daruk amiibo. See how that works. Because the Daruk amiibo came out like after Breath of the Wild, but before Link's Awakening. So I'm gonna see how this works. Oh! You get Armos Knight's Chamber. Okay. Cool. What is the Armos Knight? Well, we'll find out soon enough. But anyway, that's really all I wanted to show. I did kind of want to make progress with the chamber dungeons. But I figure I might as well have an entire video dedicated to that soon enough. So we're off to Animal Village and subsequently the Ancient Ruins, because that is our next big stop today. So, if you do indeed recall, we've run into the owl at the Ancient Ruins before. We went over to the Ancient Ruins to do some collection things, but now it's actually a part of the story. We ran into the owl there before, and he said that we want to go into these ruins that are nearby. We will learn much. What exactly that means, we have no idea. But I have changed clothes. I've changed my thing to the blue tunic, because we're going to be doing some fighting today, and I don't want to be unfair. Actually, I'm totally being unfair by getting a defense upgrade, but that matters not. It matters not. I'm still the king. I'm still the king of everything that has to do with Zelda Link's Awakening, and I will continue to do so. Anyway, the only way to kill Armos is by shooting an arrow at them when they come alive. So, without the bow and arrow, they can be a little bit difficult to take down. So, once they come alive and you have them face you, that's your opportunity to use your bow and arrow. So, yeah, that's how you deal with them. They can only be hit when they're facing your direction, by the way. So, basically, you just have to push them in your general direction, and then you shoot your arrow at them. That's how it works. That's how everything is going to work. And these Armos are alive, too, for some reason, even though they don't have anything, hiding under there. I guess. I don't know what it is, but what I do know is the fact that we have a mini dungeon, which means it's only going to take like a fair few amount of seconds to complete. So anyway, get your arrows ready. Make sure you have plenty of arrows, because this boss will have you dealing with arrows a little bit, or this mini boss. This is the aforementioned Armos Knight that you get from the Daruk amiibo. So, this is how it works. Attack him all you want, and unfortunately, he won't just go down. He'll block all your attacks. Except for the spin attack. Yeah, for some reason, he doesn't block spin attacks. All the while, he won't really do anything aside from jumping around and creating a shockwave to stun you. So, here's how you do. So, you spin attack him, and you want to make sure that you're reached a point where his armor is gone. And once you do that, shoot an arrow at his face, and that's it. Very easy. Just like every single boss fight ever. And with that, we now have the face key. So now we can head into the next dungeon. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. So we can just leave here and have ourselves a good day. But there's something beyond. To the finder, the Isle of Koholint is but an illusion. Human, monster, sea, sky, a scene on the lid of a sleeper's eye. Awake the dreamer, and Koholint will vanish, much like a bubble on a needle. Castaway, you should know the truth. What? Illusion? Hoot! I see you have read the relief. While it does say the island is but a dream of the windfish, no one is really sure. Just as you cannot know if a chest holds a treasure until you open it, so you cannot tell if this is a dream until you awaken. The only one who knows for sure is the windfish. Trust your feelings. Someday, you will discover the answer.